I am going to go over all of my favorite grind spots from 1 to, what am I? 53. So we're effective 45, I think. Effective level 46 right now. I'm going to go over all of the bounty board tasks, which ones you should do. You could generally just grind the things that are on this as well. But I'm going to go over bounty board tasks to kind of help you out with what you should pick going through it. I may miss some things here, but I've been asking chat for suggestions. I have thought a lot about which ones we chose, what was good about it, what was not good. So I'm going to go over it. All right. So up until level 20, you're pretty much just doing quests. You're not going to need to do your bounty board. So we're starting at level 20. 20 to 25, you're going to get a lot of Sahicho Island quests over here. The ones that I remember doing were frogs, poison petals. I didn't like either of them. Poison petals being exceptionally terrible. Unless I'm unaware of a good spot to farm those, they suck. Because there's 2 poison petals everywhere, 1 poison petal. It's awful. It took me forever to do. I would skip those. My favorite one for EXP was spiders. The spiders were a ton of them. You could AoE them down. So if you have an AoE build, spiders are best. And then the other thing that I would say is probably the BIS option is goblins. Best in slot. So yeah, BIS for 20 to 25 is goblins and potentially bears. People are telling me that you could get the bears over in Glademire, or they might be titled Ravencrest. I'm not sure. But they're over here in the Witch's Crag, and there is a mine there. So yeah, that is a pretty good spot as well, since there's mining. And then goblins also have mining. So both of those are really good because you can just generate money while you're doing your task. Trezek saying you can mention spider trophy. I think there's a lot of trophies on the way. I'm not going to say that you would pick these based on trophy drops, because trophy drops are so rare that I don't think I'm ever picking. You could pick for trophy all the way up to 46, and you're probably never getting a trophy. I mean, some people do. Some people get 1 trophy before they hit 60, but it is unlikely. So we're not going to go based on trophy. I'm going to go for the more obvious benefits to these choices. All right, so moving on, 25 to 30. This is when you start to go to Harbor Island. Your bounty board quest is going to start giving you a lot of options. My favorite ones were basically anything on Harbor Island wasn't a bad choice, because you could get the earring drop. There is an earring drop that you need for the Harbor Island completion. It gives you the access to the rune vendor on Harbor Island. So anything you do on Harbor Island isn't bad. Basically just saying, if it tells you to go back and kill spiders over in Sahicho, you might not want to do that. You might want to stick to Harbor Island. But the other good options we have are pirates. Early on, they're not too bad. They can drop a Corsair's Ambrosia, which I think is 100k plus right now. It's fairly rare. You could probably run a bunch of tasks and never get that, but it does drop. If you probably grab, I don't know, if I were to just spitball 5 tasks, maybe you'd probably get a Corsair's Ambrosia. That's what you need to fight Drunken Galleon. That's also part of the Harbor Island completion. But beyond that, you also get Sea Cured Leather from them, which is a crafting mat for T3 crafts, and they go for roughly 1 to 2k. So that drops pretty often, and you're going to get those pretty quick. So pirates, not too bad. Worms are great for AoE, but they were nerfed recently, so I'm not sure how they are now. But there are a lot of worms around the Sweet Sugar Plantation, and there's a cave system that goes under here, and there's a lot of worms to kill. Used to be one of the best grind spots around this level, but the nerf might have stopped that. So you could check it out. It might not be great. I don't know. When I was there, it was great. And then for the BIS spot, I would say, I don't know, pirates. It's a toss-up between pirates and turtles. Turtles is the mining one. So if you hit the turtle shell area, jump in there. There's a lot of mining. That one is great if you want to mine. They also drop shell fragments, which is a tier 3 material. I think it's worth 1 to 2k as well. So they're not bad either. Shell fragments, pirates. That's pretty much it, actually. That's everything for 25 to 30. And I should make a note here that some of these options might become available to you before you hit these levels. Like when you're 23, it might be like, do you want to kill pirates and whatever? You can take these options, but just be careful with what you take, because you might be too high level for it and it's going to take you forever because they give you crappy EXP, or you might be too low level for it. So make sure you're picking based on your level. If you're doing AoE, you might want to pick things a little bit more your level or lower. And if you're going for single target, you might want to stray on the side of a little bit higher level for a bit more per kill. But anyways, 30 to 35. Still Harbor Island. You're going to be looking, those two tasks I mentioned are still good. You could also go for Harbor Island Trolls for the Troll Fang. They're located here. There is no mining there, but the Troll Fangs are worth usually between 2 and 3K, I believe. I don't know if they've gone down at all, but they're a good task. And the Gaz for the Ankh, whatever it's called. They're located in Chainbreaker Camp. I think there's another location for them as well. They're scattered around different areas, but I know this camp has a ton of them. They can drop the Ankh, which is for the harbor or the Hatak desert completion. And you've got to kill a lot of them. I've probably taken the task for Gaz like 10 times. I still don't have the item. So probably good because you're going to have to grind a lot of them if you want that completion. And yeah, they are AoEable. There's a crap load of them. So if you have more than one person, it's a good duo spot as well. But yeah, beyond that, you're going to be dished a lot in this level range. Wolves and bears. Now, there's no good benefit to killing wolves or bears. So I wound up taking them quite a few times because like I would re-roll and it was like, do you want wolves? And I'd be like, no. And I'd re-roll and it'd be like, how about wolves? I was like, no. And then you click it again and it was like, what about the bears? Like, so I took that task pretty often. It takes you over here to Feral Woods. There's a little cave you can go in. Now, this cave has two sides, bears and wolves. Okay. Now, if you're on the bear side, you're going to see some wolves as well, but there's also bears mixed in. Don't settle for that if you're needing to do your bounty board task, because you're going to be killing half bears, half wolves. It's going to take you eternity. Make sure you're on the right side of the cave. One side will have all bears and one side will have all wolves. As soon as you get closer to the other side, it'll start mixing. So try and stay on the side with the task you're doing. It sounds incredibly obvious, but I have found myself sitting there grinding on the mobs and going, wow, I'm killing the wrong mob. So keep that in mind if you take the bear or wolf task. What's next? 35 to 40. 35 to 40 is around here a lot. I have written down trolls for troll fangs. They're over here. You can get troll fangs off these as well. They're good. I believe also they drop the troll. It's a totem for cosmetics. They're worth a decent chunk, I think. Last I checked. So you get those as well, the troll fangs. And they're scattered all around this mountain. So not hard to find. Usually in packs of 1 to 3. You got these sharks for the oceanic tier. You have to go. The totems are about 1K. Okay, sweet. The sharks will drop an oceanic tier. You can go through the mountain here. You're going to go underneath and over, and you're going to wind up on the beach over here, right? There's a cave right down here where my cursor is, and that is the entrance to the shark cavern. There's a whole lot of shark caverns, and you can also pop out onto these little Sherpa keys to fight the sharks. There's a lot of sharks. They're pretty good EXP. The mage ones are kind of tough, so be careful. And sharks in general are a little bit tough. But yeah, the oceanic tier, I believe last I checked was 3K plus. It went for a decent amount, or maybe it was 6K. It started to go up. I don't know what the price is, but the oceanic tier is worth it. Besides the sharks, Minotaur horns and mining might be one of the best spots for this level range. You can go into the Minotaur cave from Mount Minnows. You can also enter from Jaffer Hills. I think there's another entrance somewhere as well, but I can't remember. Maybe over here? I don't remember. These two areas are definitely entrances. Once you're in the Minnow area, there's mining. The Minotaur horns can be sold as well. You need like 100 of those, I think, or 200 for Hatak completion. And that's the same deal with the oceanic tiers. They use for Hatak completion, and they're tradable, so people will buy them. And then the last one on the list for 35 to 40 is the skeletons and the Hatak. Now, there are a lot of skeletons scattered over here, but there's also a mine, and it's kind of hard to find. It's located, I want to say, either here where my mouse is or right over here. I can't remember. But basically, you enter in from the north. You can enter in the south, too, on one of these spots. But there's like a wall on your right, and you can actually walk under it. And you don't notice it at first. So just look for something you can walk under on one of these two platforms. And you can't miss it. It's pretty good. In there, I will mention, don't underestimate the mages. Every single mage in there can kill you. If you are over leveled on them, they can kill you. They are awful. So anytime you see the skeleton mages, I don't remember what they're called, make sure you have an interrupt ready, because that's huge. And if there's two of them, make sure you have some big cooldown to take one of them out really fast and then potentially reset. it's rough down there. But because it's rough down there, it's also not a popular mine, so you get a lot of those nodes to yourself, so it's pretty good. It's the north one you're talking about. Okay, so it's on the north platform. But yeah, good mine. It's a decent task, but you might wind up dying a few times if you don't take those mages seriously. And the spear rot skeletons. The spear rot skeletons also have a pretty high damage move, so just be aware that the stuff in there hurts. Yeah, that's 35 to 40. What else do we have? 40 to 45. The mages are legit tanky. Yes, they are. Yeah, the mages are tanky. The next one, 40 to 45, has probably one of the best tasks in the whole thing that we've been talking about, and that is the Morning Stars. Morning Stars, as soon as you're able to kill Morning Stars, anytime that bounty board gives you Morning Stars, take Morning Stars. They have a potential drop for the Ethereal Veil. That is for Zephyr Veil completion. This thing here, obtain Ethereal Veil. There's also Hook Masks, which drop the Ethereal Veil. So both of those tasks are super solid. The Hook Masks are found mostly here, around this area. There is a mine in the Hook Mask area, and you might not know it exists. So what you want to do is you want to go into this little area here. There's a house, a small house, south of the entrance when you enter, and in it is a staircase that leads into the mine. It's actually like super hidden. I think I did 4 to 5 Hook Mask tasks before I knew about the mine. I just legit didn't know it was there. If you get Hook Masks, you can go in the mine. That one's pretty contested. You'll get a lot of fights while you're there, so keep that in mind. And then back to the Morning Stars. The Morning Stars are crazy good. You can go into their little city over here if you are looking for a little bit higher level Morning Stars as well. It's a first light. But all in all, they drop the Ethereal Veil. They drop a bunch of crafting mats. The Thin Blade, the Sturdy String, and then I think there's another one. Isn't there another one? I don't know. But Thin Blade is worth, I want to say 6-7K, maybe 4 to 7K. The Sturdy String is worth upward of 25 to 30K. So they're very expensive. Holy Water as well. Thank you. Holy Water is between 600 and 1,000, maybe 1,500 at best. But it's used for unlocking the respawn shrine up here. So people will buy Holy Water. They drop a lot of it. Anything else that they drop? I don't know. But the money there is cracked. Oh, there is something else. The shield thingy. They drop a shield thingy. I don't know which ones drop which, but I don't always make a lot of money doing it, but I had a task once and I made over 100K just doing the task. Right? So they can drop quite a bit of those mats and they're worth a lot. So Morning Stars, crazy good. What is next? Vampires. You're going to start to get vampire tasks. Vampires aren't terrible. They will be around. Where are we? Right here. There are vampires scattered all around here. It's going to tell you to just go kill them. Be careful. Some of the vampires suck, right? The Vixens are obnoxiously difficult. They put a dot on you. That does a crap load of damage. You don't want to fight those vampires. If you get vampires and you want to do vampires, they do drop cloth, which I think is worth a bit of money. You go to the Forgotten Graveyard here. Is a Fangwatch, actually. Sorry, Fangwatch right here. You can teleport here. And then you go into this little valley here, and there's a staircase leading up into the mountains. It might be here or somewhere here. It's a staircase leading up, and then there's like zombie-looking vampires, and they're super easy. So if you do want to do the vampire task, go for the easy vampires. They are much faster for a grind than the other ones. I don't know if the other ones have better drops or whatever, but they suck. They just suck as a task. So I would recommend the zombie vampires. What's next? Big. I don't have many on here. If I haven't mentioned it, it was just a mediocre task or not great. I have one task so far that's coming up that you just literally never click it. Literally never click it. It is the worst task in the game that I've encountered so far, and that is Mind Slave Dwarves in the Hatak. Never touch that button. It is pure, like I almost quit halfway through. Halfway through the task, I almost ended the task. And instead I wasted another 45 minutes to an hour of my life. It was awful. They are located over where you do the Dragon Force quest. I want to say there's 5.5 dwarves amongst like a giant mile-wide area, up a couple different levels and down a couple levels, and in between them is a bunch of foxes and dragons. And you got to find like the 5 dwarves that you just jump between. Don't take the dwarves. They're awful. Mindslave dwarves, X them out. Always reroll. They're terrible. I should probably mention, I mentioned this in my tips video, but I didn't mention this at the start of this video, which I probably should have, is that when you're taking your bounty board task, if you're newer, you might not know this, you can reroll it as many times as you want. And a lot of people don't know that, and so they just pick between the 3. But the reroll button that you initially hit to get your tasks, you can click that again immediately. It'll charge you silver and give you a new task. So if you're not seeing these tasks and you're like, well, this video is useless to me because it just gives me these 3 and none of these 3 are the good ones, he said, you can just hit reroll. Just do it as many times as you're willing to stomach the silver cost. But like, for example, if you reroll 5 times and it costs you 10K, but you got Morning Stars, a big Morning Star task, that was worth it because you're going to make a lot of money with Morning Stars. So, yeah. Yeah, I will get to that one. That's a good note. Oh, no!
Zora Bold.
Retune, thank you for the 29 months. That was a good change. I'm sticking to it. Everyone's loving it. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Okay, so wait a second. Okay, 45 to 50. 45 to 50. Just restart the whole thing. No, 45 to 50. A really good task is Frostborn. I believe they drop some crafting mats. They're located over here in Matchwood. They drop crafting mats, and they're pretty good to kill. So, Frostborn, pretty good. The Surians and Caymans are potentially Biss. Where are we? Gilead. They're potentially Biss. So 45 to 50, anytime you get a good task of Surians or Caymans, they are super solid. There are all sorts of spots to farm these. The Fernscale Thicket is great for the Surians. You can also go into the Sunchase Plateau. There's a bunch of Surians in a mine there. You can mine. There are a couple tough ones to verse in there. They have a lot of magic damage, but there's just some options for Surians. And then Caymans, there are a couple of them over here, but they're mixed in with some mushrooms. I wouldn't recommend it. You're going to want to go to the Flooded Maw over here, as that's where I usually go. And there's a bunch of Caymans. There's some cave systems down here as well that you can find some at. And there's probably some other ones elsewhere, but these are the ones that I've seen to do. So Surians and Caymans, the reason why you want these is crafting materials. All their crafting materials are somewhere between 15 and 30K. So almost every one of those, Surians and Caymans, have really good crafting mats for T3. And then not only that, but they're both part of Gilead's completion. So you get these tasks for Gilead's completion to get runes from slaying Surians, slaying Caymans, and fishing. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. All right. I have done a lot of these tasks. A large amount of these tasks. And we have six runes. So prep yourself. If you think, oh, I'll just go do those and then I'll get my runes. Think again, okay? Because it's going to take you a long time. But I would take those tasks just to get these runes out of the way so you can get your completion. What else is on the list? Pirates for AoE. Also, actually, before we go into that, someone mentioned Mindslave Dwarves. So before I forget, there is a Mindslave Dwarf task for Gilead Island. This one's not that bad. I don't know if they drop anything great, but there's a lot of them. Now, a big note about the task here is you need to be level 50. It will give you this task before you are level 50. Unconfirmed if someone can open the door for you. I'm not sure if they can or not, but if you get this task and you're not level 50, you literally can't go in. So be careful. If you see Mindslave Dwarves for Gilead and you're not level 50 yet, probably just pass. No, they can't? Okay, so no one can open the door for you. I literally grabbed it once and then I found out and I had to abandon. So no good. Pirates, probably one of the best AoE farming spots at anywhere around this level. There are so many pirates. You can do like an 8 pull here, a 5 pull in here. Like it's really good. You can just rotate between these with a giant AoE pull. Now they are pretty tough. I saw people duo farming here, which is probably pretty solid. So that's a big note. I also do have, we'll get to that actually. But yeah, pirates, great AoE farm. Otherwise, don't touch it. I actually tried this and I had a single target build and I hated it. So keep in mind the pirates are a lot tougher to complete. Like it's just not great EXP and you get too much aggro. for single target builds. So be aware of that. And I think it's worth noting you do get sea cured leather from these. So good money. And I think it does drop the Corsair's Ambrosia, but unconfirmed because I've never gotten one. But pirates, not terrible. What else we got? Glaceford Dwarves. Glaceford Dwarves were really good. I only did them once. It only gave me the option once. They're over here in the Snow Deep Mines. There's a ton of them. I wouldn't recommend doing the ones at the entrance. The ones down deeper were great. There was one called the Berserker that was like an insta-kill. Like it was just free EXP. I would do like, I don't know, 3 moves on it and it would just die. It was great. So you can run through the Snow Deep Mines. If you find a couple of those Berserkers, rotate between them. You're probably going to wind up killing a couple other dwarves in between as well. Most of that is single target. There's not a lot of AoE pulls, but pretty cool place to explore. I found I think I found like what's it called? One of the Raven Crest emblems there. But yeah, pretty cool area just to explore as well. And they drop, I want to say, what is it called? Intact padding or something, some sort of padding, internal padding. I think it was 30 to 40k for this padding. It was a T3 or T4 crafting. I think it was tier 4 crafting. They dropped 3 things, really. Okay. Well, that sounds cracked. So Snow Deep Mines, the dwarves in Glaceford. I did them once. I liked them. They're good. What else do we have on the list? That's it. That's all I have on the list. Oh, don't do Frost Risen in Glaceford. Sometimes it'll give you Frost Risen. Those sucked. There was like 7 of them. You'd rotate around like 3 different ruins for them. I would recommend against the Frost Risen. Best duo spots. I have a note for best duo spots. So let's go over that. Pirates and Gilead. We went over that. The Fern Scale Thicket was actually really good. I did grinding with one other person there, and there was enough for sure for both of us. You can over pull there for sure. So yeah, 2 people duo grinding there is pretty solid. Morning Stars are also really good for duo grinding. Hook masks aren't terrible, but if you go to the cave with the hook masks, it's not great. But the actual like base there's a lot you can pull. So you could probably duo grind pretty effectively there. Vampire Town is also great for duo grinding. This one over here where I told you the Vixens were, they do kind of suck, but there's a crap load of them. So if you do have a buddy and you want to do the vampire task, you might be good there. They're pretty good. I have done duo grind with the zombie ones, and it wasn't terrible, but it was like a little bit slower. They're like single duo pulls, so I'd recommend if you can handle it, try the town. You can pull like 5 or 6. The Gaz is probably one of the best duo grinding spots. Chainbreaker Camp is nuts. When you get higher level, it'll start to give you Gaz again, and the Hatak Ruins is actually super solid for this. I didn't mention that, but once you hit like in the 40s, they'll start giving you the Gaz again on that board, and it's because Hatak Ruins has the Gaz. Also, they're pretty good because there's a boatload of them. So you can duo grind in there, and also, of course, they drop the Ankh, so a decent option when you get to that level. What else we got? Glimmering Pools was mentioned, but I didn't like it that much. I tried it over there. Someone said they were grinding the Glimmering Pools. I don't even think that's a bounty board task, to be honest. I'm not sure why I wrote it down. Orcs. Orcs are a good duo grinding spot. There's a lot of orc areas. So you can like go into Orc Watch, go underground and north into High Galdas. And over here, there's a crap load of orcs. So you could probably duo grind in here. I think orcs drop something, don't they? It's not great. It's not like a major crafting map, but I think they drop a few things that are okay. And they're pretty quick to kill. So not the worst task ever, but not really anything special. Is turtles good for T3 mat? Yeah. But I don't think you get turtles at this level. That's why I'm excluding them from this list. I have a note here about them being like there's a lot of them there, but I don't think you ever get a task there. Orc effigies. That's correct. You can get orc effigies for the Ankh, but it's not like they're not worth that much. So I wouldn't put it like, don't pick orcs over some of these really good tasks that you'll get. Like if it's giving you orcs and morning stars, go for the morning stars, right? Other than that, I think I've covered everything. They're 800 to 1K for the orc effigies. Okay. I want to just reiterate again that I have not explored everything. I've probably covered a large, I don't know. I'm putting like a 90% stamp on this. Up until this level, I think I've explored everything. I've probably found most of the goods, the good ones to grind, but I might have missed something. If I did, if you guys can think of anything all the way up to level 45-ish effective, that is great for grinding, chuck it in the comments because that would be awesome. And other than that, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hope this was useful to you. If it was, feel free to give the video a like. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.